Hello, my name is Amber, and I typically do these silent, sped up tutorials, but I actually wanted to do a talkie in this one. Maybe get to know some of y'all and get a little bit comfortable with speaking, so maybe, my future ones will be a little bit better. I know I haven't been posting on Instagram, mostly that's where I mostly am at. I haven't been doing much of nothing. I work a full-time job, so getting home is just like my sanctuary, and I don't want to do much of anything after I get home from work, and I know I need to get out of that because it's not a good habit to be within, to just like be a reclusive, and I just want to do what I enjoy, and this is one of them. So I want to go ahead and start off with the spooky season of September 1st and do a talky, spooky look. So I hope you like it. Thank you. So I usually just start off by wiping my face off. I know if you clean your face and everything, and you will get rid of all that residual dirt and everything, but for some reason my face tends to be super oily, even though I've just cleaned it. But I'm just wiping off any residual oil that may be on, so I can get a nice, good, even base. And I've actually started, well, not started, but I just got a new foundation that I wanted to try from the shopmissa through their AOA studio. A portion of proceeds go towards kids' education, so it's always a good thing. And I wanted to try their foundation because it's only like $1.88, and I'm all for trying different foundations, especially if they have like a lighter range. I think this might be a little too dark for me, but we'll see. It says to shake well, so we'll do that. What the hell am I doing? I usually do my eyes first, but do you guys do eyes first or face first? Let me know. I don't know, some people have a preference of what they do, and me, I always think I do my eyes first lately because it prevents a lot of the stuff to fall on my face, and just because I'm lazy and I don't feel like cleaning it off. But I actually haven't quite thought of what I wanted to do. So I wanted to do something relatively spoopy or spooky, and I wanted to use actually let me just pull it all out. This is my glitter tray. And because of a friend on Instagram, Ashley has kind of introduced me to some glitters. I have these amazing ones by bluhwow, and there's Brew, and it's got little bats in it. But I also have one from poisoncosmetics that's called Batty that's got moons and bats in it. But this one's a black, and this one is more of like a black red with pink sparkles. I don't know if you can see how that's like pink, blue, hollow, black, and it's got bats in it, so it makes me happy. But there's a sticker on the bottom, so you might not be able to see, but here's poisoncosmetics, which is just black hollow with hollow moons and bats. But I was just thinking about using the bats, and I know the Batty one doesn't have that much bats in it, but whenever I use my glitter and I use the shapes in it, I keep them because I'm poor and I like to keep it. But I have like but there's bats and skulls in here from all the residual glitter that I've used in here, so in order for me to actually like pick it out so I don't have to dip into the glitter, I can reuse the glitter I've already done used. And I know it's never good to wash glitter down the drain or anything, so I usually just try to keep it as best as I could. That or mostly goes on my floor, so it's not going into the water. So I think I'm going to use the bats out of my little glitter dump here. It is actually a pretty glitter. It's actually really pretty. But I'll use the bats out of that. And I wanted to do kind of like a red, black, a la carte, black to red, darkest being in the middle, in the inner corner, and red coming out, and have the bats dissipate coming out, and possibly make me swirly or whatever. But we'll see what we'll come up with. Now, I know people use primers and everything. I just use concealer, so because it's in front of me. And all I need to do is just to have a sticky base, and I'm not too picky about what goes on my eyeballs, so. And unfortunately, I do have a mirror behind the camera, but I'm blind as a bat, and I cannot see that far. So I have to use a little mirror, which I know I see a lot of people do all the time anyway, but even in, I guess, private use of me, and whenever I do my makeup or for my looks, I still have to use a tiny little mirror because I can't see crap without my glasses. So are you one of those people that as soon as it turns September, it's automatically pre-Halloween season? I'm one of those people because I just love fall and I love Halloween. There's just something about it that just makes me so happy. I've always been a Halloween person. I never actually went like trick-or-treating or anything, but I've always enjoyed it more than, say, Christmas. I don't know, there's just something about that season. But I'm just going to go in with like a warm khaki color and just find my crease. And I have hooded eyes, so I tend to go above my actual natural crease and create like a faux one. And I kind of just blow that out to kind of create a shadow. Because I know I've had to learn to adapt with my eyeballs, because not a lot of the popular YouTubers that were out when I first started getting into makeup, they had like the most perfect eyes. So I kind of just stopped watching for the actual like tips and tricks and everything like contour, because truthfully all it is just depends on your face shape. And you're not going to have that face shape, say, as like Jeffree Star. He has a completely separate face shape than mine. He's all very hollow, like he has very hollow eyes, rather deep set and very bony, and he's got a jaw. He's just very. But now I'm just going to go in with a fluffy brush and start with the reds before I go into the black, because you want to get your base color down before you muck it all up with the black, because you want to go light before you go dark. So I'm just going to take my red and just come out here. Now I'm probably going to bring it in to where the black is supposed to go, but I want to make sure I pack this out while the concealer is still sticky. Now I don't need it as much in the inner corner because I'm just going to cover it up with the black, but I'm making sure that I have it out here where it needs to be. And do y'all ever have the problem of when you're trying to get your eyes even, it seems like you have much better luck on this side than you do that side? Or vice versa, whichever. I think it just depends on what is your dominant hand, truthfully. If you're a lefty, you might do better on your left than you will on your right. But I try to get them as best as I can, because unfortunately sometimes my left eye turns out more rounder than how this one I can drag out, because of the fact I can't, I guess, distinguish the depths of putting pressure over here than I can over here. So sometimes this eye can get a little crazy. But I'm just going to now take a deeper red and then just put it more on the outside for a little more depth. Because I think that's just the trick with eyeshadow. I know you can make some of the most beautiful looks just by simply using two shadows, but if you want to use color, you're gonna need to use like multiple. I think it's funny though, like I never used to wear makeup at all when I was younger. Just all of a sudden, just really piques my interest. I think what it was is just all the cosplayers that started to kind of show up when I got into Instagram. I was into makeup, and I remember doing a bunch of other looks. Oh goodness, I say about maybe 2011, 2012, I was really into like makeup for a little bit. Then I kind of went into like nail art. I was doing like recreations of like retro looks and Lady Gaga looks from, the Born This Way era of her. And then I kind of just got out of it. I don't know, just kind of stopped. Then I kind of went back into it with some cosplay and recreations of like Tim Burton characters, and I got really into the spoopiness of it all, because I felt like I couldn't pull off like the super glam stuff. I don't know. But as you see, I got it all kind of blended out, shaded in. Now, I guess we could just start in with the black. Now, since the black is going to be pretty stark, we're going to go just a little at a time and just kind of build it up that way, and then we can blend from there. Because I kind of want to do, I guess, like a cut crease with black. Just slowly but surely. Now, when you have hooded eyes and you try to do like a cut crease, it can be a little frustrating, especially since I'm doing it with shadow instead of like a concealer, which we do light. Which I guess I could use concealer, but I'm lazy. kind of excited. It's getting fall. Fall is, or autumn, is my favorite time of the year. Said every basic white woman. But my reasonings is just that I just love the feel that it gives, and when you walk out and you just smell the cool, crisp air and the leaves, and I don't know, it just has a completely different feeling for me. And plus, less allergies. I have very bad allergies, so summertime brings out the pollen. Well, like spring and summer here where I live brings out the pollen and all of the allergens. And it gets so humid and muggy that the air density just increases. And it just makes it so hard to breathe for me. And the older I've gotten, the worse my allergies have gotten. It sucks, because most of the time I get like sinus headaches and migraines, and I'm allergic to all the different kinds of medications, so I can't take anything that could help me. So I'm now going back in, since I got that, I'm going to try to blend it out with some of the red to kind of ease out the harshness right here. And kind of just blend the two together. There, you get something kind of like that. The other side is a little bit more harsh. Okay, so right now we're going to be kind of done with the eyes. I always do the lids first, and then I kind of go from there so I can do the bottom. So we're going to try out the foundation. I typically like a lighter foundation, kind of like a BB cream. My all-time favorite foundation that actually matches me very well is the Sonia Kashuk. I believe it's the Radiant Plus Tinted Moisturizer in Fair. Well, unfortunately, just dropped it. Unfortunately, she's stopped making makeup. Don't know why, but I think she does still brushes and everything, but she's kind of stopped the whole making makeup thing. So I've been trying to find a good alternative to that, because plus even then it was pricey. I had someone actually give it to me, thankfully, but I haven't found an actual match for me. It's crazy. I don't know my undertones, but we'll see how this bad boy goes. And I don't typically use like primers or anything, because most of the time when I do my looks I just take them off, so I don't need the primer for longevity. Nor do I think I have, well, I don't really think I have problems with like pores or texture. I do, but there's no primer to actually like diminish that in any kind of way. Well, there's my little palette. Okay, so I'm going to put it on my little Paw palette. Now it's kind of dirty, but I always have to end up cleaning my little area before I actually do my makeup. It's kind of crazy. But I have been using a brush lately. I've always been using sponges, but sometimes when you get stuck in a rut with your makeup, you kind of want to change things up. So I've been using a brush lately. I know when I first started, I used a brush as well. So I just kind of went back to it just to change something, because there's not much you could change with your base makeup. You can't really have too much control of what you can change for your base makeup, and you know what looks good on you, and you know what will work. And I have black shadow on my face. Fuck. Oh well, fuck it. Too late now. I got an eyelash too. So far, it looks pretty nice. Better than some of the ones that I've paid a little bit more for. I don't have any high-end foundations, because I just can't bring myself to pay $30-40 for foundation, a good foundation that I can get for $5. And I know I have one from LA Colors that was only actually $3, and it's actually pretty decent. You're gonna hear mowing outside, so I'm sorry about that. I only have the courage to be able to film when my old man's not in the house, so that's what he's doing. So I'm sorry if you hear mowing outside. And truthfully, I ain't got time to stop it to wait till he's done, so. Just gonna have to hear the mowing, I'm sorry. But yeah, I have a hard time trying to get high-end foundations, because even then I'm not going to pay that money for something that has the same chance of matching me as some things that are going to be a lot more inexpensive. So I'd much rather take my chances with something that is cheap, that I can make it work, than something that's $30 that I'm going to have to make it work regardless. And I know every time I go into like a Sephora or anything, they can't seem to match me, which I don't know if it's just the Sephora that I have in my area, which is adjacent to a JCPenney. It's not a standalone Sephora store, because that's what our town has. It's all in a mall. I don't know if we actually have a standalone Sephora store, truthfully, in where I live at. I think there might be one in Louisville, but I could be wrong because I don't go over there. I don't like driving in the city. I have too much anxiety as it is driving in the little city metropolitan areas that we have around me on the Indiana side. But I just get a little too scared and anxious, and I'm not familiar with the territory to go treading in there. So this foundation's nice. It's a little much, and I didn't really put too much on there because I still have a few. It's one of those foundations that you can see that it is a foundation, which is not my favorite. And it looks like it'd be one of those ones that if you thinned it out, it's just going to look kind of even worse. I don't know, maybe maybe it would work better if I used a sponge compared to a brush. So I'm not like a complete expert when it comes to using a brush. But I say for color, I think it matches pretty decently. Also, it could be because I'm sweating because of these Fargan lights. Ew. My nose is looking pretty crispy. Okay, so from there I go and use concealer. I found this finally in a shade that would match me. It's the LA Girl Pro Concealer, and I have it in Fairest. I wore it the other day. It actually kind of reminds me of a thicker version of this. It's kind of got that makeupiness to it. It's very thick, and I'm not quite certain if that looks good on me. Nor, I don't know, I just have to play with it because it is a completely new formula, because it might not be too much different from the e.l.f. one that I use. Just, this one's like a little bit more liquidy compared to this. I actually really like this concealer. It is a bit much. I would like to get a little bit more of a, I guess, radiant one. I do have the, if I can find it, the Wet n Wild Photo Focus one that's in the the square, in the square packaging, this one. This is their lightest shade. It's in light ivory, and you can see this one is a tad bit light, I do have to admit, but I compensate for oxidation or drying, because when things dry down, they get darker. We take the shine out of something, it's going to get darker. So it is a very nice concealer. When it's freshly put on, it does match me pretty well, but when it dries, it gets darker, much like how this one does. This one's in medium peach, and I did have the lightest one, which I do have an unopened one, but I wanted to go through all my other concealers that I've gotten to go through that. So we're going to try this bad boy out. I'm actually going to use a little flat concealer brush to kind of blend it out, and I really don't put that much concealer on. I just kind of do a little bloop. I did go a little hardcore. Oh god, I don't like that. I don't like it. It's too much. I don't know. I need an adult. Okay. I'm not used to the squeezy tube applicator, so that is something that I'm gonna have to learn. Why is it turning gray? It's a little much. I think I put it way too much. I'm not used to this. Oh Lord. And I still kind of do that triangle because I do have a birthmark right here. So I kind of bring it down, but I don't create the triangle with the concealer. I bring it down to that because I think that's just a little much. And I do have a small face. But let me, it's first time for everything. I'm going to take it up on my nose right here. Okay. and take it up here, because I do have that natural boop there. And I'm just going to take it on my cheeks with this, because it'll be a lot quicker than using that little last thing, because that I just needed to get precision up at my eyeball. Oh no, I blinked and it's on my eyelashes. Look. Sorry. Oh Lord. Well, you don't know until you do something that if it's right or not. Next time, maybe not so much, but I've already committed. I'm already here. And I'm afraid to sweep it because I'm afraid it'll take up that foundation because it's already kind of dried down a little bit. I'm going to bring it down on my cheeks a little bit more. And I'm sorry if the light is a little too much. I don't know what I'm doing yet when it comes into lighting and stuff, which, you know, I have to learn, but also I am pale as fuck. So I've noticed that my camera will freak out when I move a certain angle because it's now catching light off my face. Probably would not believe it if I told you I was actually a tan little girl. I used to go outside all the time as a kid and go out and play. And I had really long hair, so my mom would call me Pocahontas. Because I loved Pocahontas. I was kind of obsessed with it. I'm just using up what was put on here. So I'm going to do a little bit here, a little bloop bloop, bloop bloop. And that's all I really do for concealer, because I really don't want to... I know how it wears already, the concealer. So I know if something is a little bit weird, it might be the foundation, because I have it just right in here. And I know how typical foundations will wear. Oh god, I put too much! I put too much. Put too much. Too much, too much. Oh. Well, this shit goes a long way. It goes a little bit, goes a long way. Dear Lord. Okay, I think I got that. And see, like, I think I have a tiny forehead, but it could be just because it's not like I have a receding hairline. It's just that mine's so pale, and my hair is pretty fine, but I have a lot of it. And I actually have a tiny forehead, but I think I have a huge forehead. I guess when you just stare at something so much, you think you have it, but you don't. But when you stare at all your little insecurities or things that you think you're insecure about, all they do is just bring it to light. Okay, well, I think that's about as good as it's gonna get. Yeah, it looks like I'm wearing a lot. A lot. Oh, my looks fun. This is a lot of makeup. When I actually bring it down here and I put too much, I just don't want that line of looking like I have a concealer goatee. So I just kind of blur it all over and under the cheeks here. So I don't have that distinct line, which I'm going to bronzer there or contour there anyway. I really don't use contour too much anymore because I think bronzer is sufficient enough. But now I'm just gonna set it. When it comes to powders and everything, I'm not too picky, but trying to find an actual like light foundation powder or a light setting powder is hard because the famous one of Coty Airspun, though it's not cruelty free and it's too fucking dark. Even the translucent one is a bit too dark. I gotta get this concealer off my damn eyelashes. So I have found, I don't like the HD powders because my flashback, but I like this translucent powder because I am pale enough to where it does not create an actual white cast. It just does what it does. It mattifies. And if you use too much of a light concealer, regardless if you're going to set your powder, it's going to darken. Even if unless you use an actual like foundation powder, but that's just adding more and more onto already of a crazy area. But I just set it all the places I put concealer at with my translucent powder. And then I kind of go with the Franken powder that I made because I was tired of all the little containers that I had of powder that I didn't use. And then I kind of mixed them all together and I created a powder that I actually kind of like. And it's kind of like a luminescent powder that I didn't quite have because I've kind of gotten into like in a more luminous type of look instead of mattifying, though I can't appreciate a matte face. I just think it looks a little bit more natural because even with this powder you can see there's still a flash from it, but not from the powder, but because there's actually like moisture coming through. Could be because I'm just sweating my ass off right now. Next I'm going to go in with, it's in an elf powder container, but it is actually containing the elf HD powder because that, oh my god, flied everywhere. It was a very light powder, though didn't quite like it on my skin because it would be patchy in areas and it felt like it would actually like take off makeup. So I mixed it with the remaining of, I'm trying to think. Okay, now this does contain the Maybelline Fit Me powder because I had bought that before I had officially gone like cruelty free. So I had put the rest of that in there because if I've already done bought it, I'm not going to waste it. That's just one, if it's been on animals, it's not fair to them, you know, the way I look at it. They've already gone through it, I'm just going to use it up and not buy it again. So it contains a little bit of that because by the time I had gone cruelty free, I have already done like used it, most of it. And it has the elf HD powder, a little bit of a sample that I gotten from Ipsy with a Ciate, that I think it was like the perfect setting powder or something like that. Can't remember, it was extraordinary setting powder. I had put the rest of that in there because I wasn't using it. Then I had put a broken up Physicians Formula. You know, the Physicians Formula comes in like a little circle pack and it's in like, got bubbles all over it. I think it's like the Pearl highlighting palette. And it was in Radiant, I think. It was like the more dull one. I had one of those. And it broke and I put it in the powder. So I had a little bit of a radiancy to it. So I think it's a little bit pinky, as you can see, compared to the rest of the powder, but that's because of that radiant powder. So I think it looks pretty darn good if you ask me. Okay, I'm back. I'm sorry. My thing said it was running out of room, so I was going to stop. So what I did is just finish up powdering my face, and now I'm going to start with the blush. Now, since I'm going to do something spoopy, thinking about maybe using just like a matte blush, so I'm going to just use the LA Colors Rad Rouge Blush and Awesome. Just a simple little blush. Now, when I put on powders, I don't know if you've seen my other videos or what have you, I dab, and then I swirl. Because to me, I'm depositing the color and then I'm dispersing it with the swirling motions. So, to me, it's an effective process. May not be so effective to some, but to me, it gets the job done. And I do that with when I put my face powder on, because when it's still wet, it's going to move it around if I just went on doing a swirly out of nowhere. But same with kind of like a blush, because I've noticed with foundations on my face, I can set it as much as I freaking want to. It's still going to be weird on my face, and it's kind of being like a dough. I don't know if it's just because my natural oil's coming through. It's going to want to move on me. So I just I have like that round, chubby cheeked face. So I just put the blush in those areas and kind of sweep it from there. And then from there, we're going to do a little bronzing slash contouring, I suppose. And I like using the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer because it's actually a pretty good neutral bronzer and it smells delicious. But I depotted it because the thing kind of broke on me and it wouldn't shut and I didn't want nothing to happen to it. So I had me like a little bitty magnetic palette. And it's surprisingly, I think, if I remember right, yeah, Physicians Formula, this one at least, is magnetic. It's an actual metal pan. Now, Wet n Wild Their stuff is not. It's all aluminum, and they glue those suckers in. It's pretty intense how much glue they decide to put them in. I don't know if they just don't want them to pop out or want you to pop them out, but they're in there for life. But when I deposited that broken highlight one from Physician's Formula, the pan was not magnetic. So I guess it's just some products are containing a metal pan, some aren't. And in this case, the butter bronzer one is a metal magnetic one, but I might have had an old one, so they might have changed it since then, since they've relaunched it with different shades and such. And I know if my products are super old, they're still super effective. And I'm just putting them on my face. After I go in with that, I kind of go in with my powder brush and kind of just make sure, especially since I am sweating like crazy because it's hot as heck with these lights, and I really don't have a fan to produce airflow, and I sweat like crazy when it's in those types of conditions. But on that, since I'm done with the blush, bronzer, and everything, I'm going to go back into the eyes and finish that up real quick. So down on my eyeballs, I'm just going to take that dark red that I had put in the crease and just kind of flare it all out. I'm just going to taper it up. Might have to get something smaller, but I think I kind of got it there. And see, like when I do my lower lash line, I know where I need to make alterations to the sides here, because I never go super far out with my left eye than I do with my right. So I know I need to add a little bit more to the bottom. Now I'm going to add a little bit more of that red that I had initially put down, because I've noticed that with this just by itself, it is rather pinky instead of red. So I just want to make sure everything's kind of cohesive and all the same color. Now I'm probably not going to do liner because I want to make sure that those little bats stand out. I might take just a little bit more black. Since we're kind of finished up with everything else, I could see I need to add more. And kind of just blend that top. Just a little bit farther out. Now that's too much. Did that a little too much. So in that case, just get it to match since I done fucked it up. And then kind of just blend from there, but I mostly need to fucking fix this side. So I'll be right back and I'll fix it. And it's fine. Everything's fine. I think I kind of got them even. It looks like shit, but I got it. Pretty much if you mess up, just at least make them look like you did it on purpose. And I kind of gotta pat away my sweat beard here. Or sweat mustache. Because mama's bleeding through here. Whew, Lord. It's hot. So now I'm going to try to take Mr. Batty's here. And I'm going to dot them around my eyes, kind of creating like a swarm out of the black. Then we'll go from there. So I'm going to try to dig them all out, and I'll be right back. Whew, we're back. A lot of digging. Had to clean some of the iridescent glitter that had got stuck to them. But I got most of them out to at least do one eye for you, then I could do the other off camera. But I'm just going to use like regular lash glue to stick these babies on. Now, like I said, I wanted to try to do like a swarm. I'm going to try that on my eyeball and see how that goes. So I might go a little quiet here. So wish me luck.
It's a lie.
Okay, so I'm done with all the little bats, and I kind of went too far down, so where I put my highlights, so I'm just going to put it over them. But whenever I use any of my glitter and it gets all over I usually just put it on my table. I just sweep it into my little glitter dump here, so nothing goes to waste. So since I'm all red, I was thinking about maybe a pinky highlighter, and I have this pretty one from LA Colors, their strobing one. It's in flashing pink. And I just put it over the little bats. I did not think this through. Oh no, look at he's coming off. And of course, you can't forget the nose. I don't think I need any up here because I'm sweating like a dog. And I'm just going to stay cohesive and take this and put it in my inner corner here. I went ahead and just did mascara on my brows because there's nothing really entertaining about that at all. I don't get fancy. Now it's time for lips. Alright, and I'm going to go in with Carnage from Impulse Cosmetics because I think with a red it would be a little bit more, I don't know, less spoopy because I already got all the bats. No, and then just like the twist of it, I guess. And it's dark without being too dark. Okay, that is everything, I guess. Just final look, and I think I have glued a bat in my hair. But this is the finished look. I hope you like it, and you know what to do, I guess. But let me know if you like it all. You have a good day. Bye.